How can we understand God and possibilities? Possibilities are nothing unless God first thinks of something for there to be a possibility of that very thing. Possibilities don't exist on their own. We would think if there are possible worlds, which there are, God could have made this world where the grass is pink instead of green. That could have been an entirely different world, but He didn't choose to do that. Those possibilities are not what God chooses from. It is God's very thought to create a world where possibilities then begin to come to be and flourish. So God doesn't operate based upon possibilities first and foremost. First, God thinks of a very thing that only He can think of and that can only be done. And then through that thing, there can be a variation of those things in different possibilities. Because God is the unbegotten beginning. He has all knowledge. And therefore, when He chose to think of what man would be like in His image, which He knew before even time and space began, He knows all these things within an instant. However, they are revealed and exercised based upon time, because we obviously don't know who our future kids are going to be or what the future generation is going to fully look like. There are still people to be born that we have yet to meet and to understand and see what they look like, but God already knows this all immediately. But nonetheless, for God to then discern and understand how He wants to make man in His image, then there comes the possibilities of different people made in His image, different personalities and the like. But before God has that thought, so to speak, even though in His eternal state all thoughts are at once, but when He created the heavens and the earth, and He has these various thoughts, successive thoughts, moment by moment, then it becomes possible for different human beings and different people made in His image to look differently, to have different personalities, to have different heights and weights and the like. So God never operates and creates based upon possibilities. He first has a thought of what He wants to do and come to be, because we know that God speaks into existence that which has not yet been. There are things that have not yet been. There are many things that we don't even know about that God already knows what He will do, but they have not yet been revealed to us, because we know it's the glory of God to conceal a matter, but it's the glory of kings to seek out a matter. So God first has this thought of what He wants this thing to be, and then when He speaks, we see this in Genesis 1, when God, creates the heavens and the earth, and He goes by each day. God speaks both the function, the frame, and the form all into existence at once. He speaks the product, the purpose, and the plan into existence at once. There's no such thing as light from the sense of like being emitted from stars and the sun and so forth, until God speaks that very thing, and then it comes to be. So God has a thought, He speaks it into existence, and then possibilities arise from that very thought, because there's no such thing as possibilities before God creates that very thing, because that very thing has not yet come to be. And until that thing comes to be, then there is a possibility and a range of how things could be. But God obviously knows all of this within an instant. He's the one who declares what is based upon who He is. He always creates and makes what is logically possible, because we know in the beginning was Word, the Word was with God, and the Word was God. The Word is Logos, Logos is logic, and God always creates that which is logically, but He has an infinite basis of what He can do with anything and everything. And so that is how we can come to understand God and possibilities. God first has the thought, it comes to be, and then possibilities arrange from that aspect. God doesn't operate based upon possibilities beforehand, because only God exists in this unbegotten, beginningless state. Everything has been created by Him, through Him, and for Him. And it's because of that once He creates, once He has a thought and exercises it and makes it known, then possibilities arise.